So this is going to be a short tutorial on how to approach decussation type questions on the exam. And this is going to work for both ascending and descending tracts, so I would consider this kind of like the golden rule, so to speak. I'm not sure what Dr. De Silva taught you guys, but this is what I used and this is what worked for me. So the golden rule is if the lesion is above the level of decussation, then it's going to present with contralateral symptoms. And when we say contralateral, it's contralateral to where the lesion is. And I'll illustrate what I mean in just a second here. And it's below, and if it's below, then it's going to present with ipsilateral symptoms. Ipsilateral to where the lesion is, okay? So let's take DCML for example. So DCML crosses at the level of the medulla and the pyramids. So let's pretend that this X right here is DCML, right? And then where it decussates, this is going to be kind of somewhere along the medulla, right? So for the exam, you do need to know where each of these 5 tracts decussate, and these are the only ones that decussate as far as what you need to know for the exam. So still going with our example with DCML, okay? So DCML is an ascending tract, meaning that it starts from the periphery, right? And then the sensation signals enter the spinal cord, and then it travels up, it decussates at the pyramids, and then works its way all the way to the primary somatosensory cortex at the level of the brain, like at the top of the brain basically. So we're going to show that by drawing some arrows showing that the signals are ascending or going up the spine, okay? And now what you want to do is, if you have an above the decussation type of lesion, so this is going to be anywhere, let's say like in the cerebral cortex, maybe the thalamus, then it's going to be considered an above the level of decussation type lesion. And how you want to approach this is, okay, so you figured out where the lesion is. Now, is it going to present ipsilaterally or contralaterally? Well, let's find out. So first you want to start, or ask yourself, does the signal make it all the way from where it starts to where it ends? So let's check the left side first. So the left side comes in, and it successfully makes it all the way to the other side. But on the opposite side, if you follow the line, it doesn't, because there's your lesion there above the level of your decussation, right? So then all you need to do now is just look at where the X's are. If they're on opposite sides, then it's going to be a contralateral presentation of symptoms. So contralateral to the lesion. Okay. And now let's see if it was below, right? So here's your decussation again. But now it's below, okay? And this was, okay? So now if it's below the level of decussation, so with DCML, that's gonna be, let's say like at the level of the spinal cord, right? Because the spinal cord is below the pyramids, or the medullary pyramids, right? So the left side doesn't go very far, just ends right there, so it doesn't make it all the way. But then the other side does. And then as you can see, the X's are on the same side. So this is going to be ipsilateral to the lesion, okay? And then just to kind of illustrate the point that this does work with both ascending and descending, let's try a descending tract. So for this example, we're going to go with, let's go with LCST. So with LCST, here's your X again. Okay. With LCST, it starts from the primary motor cortex, so that's up in the brain, and then it travels its way down towards the spine and then exits, right? And where LCST decussates is also in the medulla, in the caudal medulla this time. So our signals are going to be going down. And at this point, you do the same thing. So then let's say the lesion is in the primary motor cortex, so that's technically above the level of the medulla, so that's going to be above the decussation, right? And then same thing, you want to start from where the signal begins and then go all the way down to where it ends. Does the left side make it? No, it does not. But then the right side does. And then look at where the X's are. They're on opposite sides, making this contralateral presentation of symptoms. Contralateral to the lesion, okay? And if it was below, so for LCST, a below the decussation type of lesion would be anywhere along the spinal cord, because the spinal cord is below the medulla, right? So let's say this one, right? You want to do the same thing. You want to start from where the signal starts and then travel it down, see if it makes it all the way. And on this side, starts up here, goes down, it does not make it. But the other side does. So then just look at where the X's are, they're on the same side. So then you're going to have an ipsilateral presentation of symptoms, ipsilateral to the lesion. Okay, very important to keep that in mind. How is this going to be relevant on the exam? Well, if you look at what type of spinal cord lesions this might present with, this is going to usually present with unilateral symptoms. So it's either just going to affect one side, either the left or the right. If the decussation was on the level of decussation itself, like if the lesion was here in the middle, then it's going to present with both bilateral symptoms, okay? But with the other examples that we were talking about earlier, that's going to be more prevalent in hemichord, or Brown's card. Same, those two words mean the same thing. So I hope this helps. Let me know if you guys have any questions.